Hi there guys, welcome to the video on how to use 3D effects within Adobe After Effects. And what we'll be using first is a file from this Adobe Illustrator file program. And right here I have an iStock photo. This photo I have downloaded and I have brought into this program. And what I have here is that every single element I've changed to a different layer. So if I go through this, you can see that my silhouette is this top layer. I have a series of splatters that goes to 1 through 5, 6 at the bottom. So let me hide these so you can see what's behind here. And I have this logo here. And now basically what this logo is just this thing called Break It. I'm just going to play with this right here. So what I'm going to do is show all these again. Go back to After Effects, and I need to import this Illustrator file. So I'll go to File, Import, I'll go to my File button, and what I can do is navigate to my desktop where this file is located. Go to Cheer, and before I press OK or press Open, I want to go to my Footage option here and change this to Composition. When I do that, what I'm telling After Effects to do is to open this up as a series of layers as opposed to one single image. Typically, if you import one single image or some video, it'll just say it's footage, which is fine. But this one, we want to do a special composition here. So let's press open. And what I have here is my cheer composition with my layers listed here at the bottom. So I can drag these layers to my new layer panel, and it'll prop up this little new comp from selection window. I want single composition, and I want this to last about 10 seconds. Okay, you can set this on your own. Yours may say 2 or 4 or whatever your last setting was. But let's just press OK, and now I have a one view of my different layers here. Now, if you notice that this imported with a black background as opposed to having a white background. In my AI file, I have a white background. Actually, it's a zero background. There's nothing behind it. So Illustrator imported it with its just natural black background. What I can do is I want to create a new solid to place behind this. It'll be a white box essentially. So let's go to New and Solid. This is a great way to create a background in case you're doing like a different file. You can always use this here. I want to make this the comp size, which will make it the exact size of my window, which is just what I want. And name is not really important to me, so it's fine, and press OK. Now it opened up in the very top layer, so I just move this down to the bottom. And if you notice, all my layers imported in a very peculiar way. So what I need to do is to reorganize these as I had them before. Notice I named all my layers splatter 1, 2, 3, up to 6. So let me just reorganize these. And I'll put my logo layer in between 5 and 6. Now this is looking better. Now we have what I want here. So what I can do to make these 3D layers is currently they're all 2D layers. What I can do is I can pick every layer, hold down Shift button, pick all my layers, and right here is my 3D icon. This will convert a 2D layer, even video, into a 3D object. So just press this, and it will apply for every single layer. Now if I want to view these as 3D layers, right now all I have is my comp layer. It's pretty much just a straight on view. If I go to my view selection here, I can pick 4 views. And what I have here is my top, my comp, this is my front, and my left view. And if I zoom in here, you'll see that right now they're all flat layers. They're all in the same exact plane. Okay, so what I got to do is I need to adjust these on the Z-axis. So what I can do for this is, again, highlight all of these, and if I press the P button, I can display the positioning of all of my layers. Now let's click over here to kind of deselect all those layers. And what I want to do is kind of push my layers out, the first one the farthest, and each one less and less. So what I want to do is for my first one, let's just bring this back here. And I'm going to bring this to about -1000. So that's fine right there. My second one there, let's just type in here, we'll do -850. See how that works. My splatter 2 will be -750, and we'll just give these about like 100 units as space here. So we'll do -650. This one here, let's go down to -500. That's fine. Let's go down here again. Let's do -400. That's fine. And we'll do negative 300 for the logo. And how about for the splatter? We'll do negative 200. So our white solid, I want to keep at 0. I'll go into that later on. But right now, just make sure that your top layer is the closest position toward you, essentially. Okay? If I zoom here onto my top view, you'll see that if you can see there's kind of like a blue line here. These are all my layers here. They're coming out from my 0 point closer to the viewpoint. If you see my viewport, it's just a big block of nothing there. Now here's a really interesting topic here is that if you view this, do you see how this is all blurry and everything? It looks kind of pixelated. Well, After Effects does that to save RAM space. But say if I want to look at that as its like natural vector shape, what I can do is highlight all these again, and I can press this icon right here. This is my retain vector outline. Okay, basically make sure that everything is perfectly clear. As I press that, do you see how my viewport's suddenly clear? It's just something to use in case you're doing some very fine detail work, in case you're drawing over something and you have to see the exact detail. It's a very useful tool, actually. So what I can do is what I'm going to do now is click up here, and I need to create a camera so that we can see and kind of navigate through these things as we animate. So what I can do is let's right click here, and I'll go to create new, and we'll do a camera. And what I would do is a preset for a 35mm. That's fine. The name, like I said, is not very important to me. And if you want to go into this later on in class, we can definitely do that. But for right now, it's just a very simple setup. It just kind of tells you exactly what you're doing with the camera and everything. So let's press OK. That will create a camera. If you noticed, my composition view changed. Now let me go to my top view, and you'll see that my camera is nestled in between these layers right here. It's pretty much right between the 4th and the 5th layer. So what I want to do is I want to go to my Z position. Let's move this camera back. Okay? And you'll see, as I move this back, do you see how my comp here is getting a lot more interesting? I can see everything now. Now this is very important here, guys. I want to make sure that my point of interest, this little crosshair in front of my camera, is all the way beyond my 0 point. So I want to bring that all the way back there. Okay, because what happens is that as you go closer to your point of interest, the orientation of it, the position of it, is very hard to keep in the contact. So what we want to do is make sure that this point is beyond that 0 point, that little red line there. So let me go to my position here on my camera, and as you can see, it's right there at negative 1869. That's fine. What I want to do is, do you see how this white box, this solid behind here, on my viewport, on my composition layer, is pretty much like is like very small. It's very far off in the background. I'm going to turn off the 3D effect there. That'll fill it up with the entire thing. Now, if you notice, all my layers are still on top of it because that solid, the Z positioning is still 0. Everything else is before it. That's why keeping that solid at that 0 positioning and nothing beyond it, nothing in the positive positioning, that's a very important thing here. Okay?